Greetings, 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 dear Sagittarius. This one's for you here. This is Tarot Lumination. This is your generic mini love and relationship report for the November 2018 season. You know the drill. Some of you have been here before. Do your cross-watching for significant others. If there isn't anyone out there, you can interpret this as a what-if scenario, but you really have to allow for the laws of attraction because we use a crucible spread here. And the whole idea is that there's you're radiating energy, and that attracts energy back to you in the form of a significant other, or possibly. And then there's the relationship itself, okay, which is a separate entity. It has its own life, mission, energy, and purpose, and meaning. Are you aware? Also, when we're doing this, please invite your invisible friends, all your angels and guardian angels and spirit guides, everything like that. Also, you know the routine, watch for your sun, moon, and rising, especially if they're all different, okay? It's not just about your sun sign. So, cards are well shuffled in advance, but we go to the last second so that you're a witness. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. Sorry, there's no time, no room. At least not on this channel, sorry. A couple of notes here, Sagittarius. It's kind of a big deal month for everybody because there's so many big changes happening. We've had a lot of continuous, ongoing stressed angles that were really amplified, especially the Leo-Aquarius axis and the Taurus-Scorpio axis recently. It's just been kind of nonstop. But things are changing. There are these big tectonic shifts that are happening now. And one of them is very important because it's all about you, Sagittarius. Actually, let's just do it here. If you want to get deep into your soul journey and everything, please watch the other playlist, okay? It's the general report. It's all about you. This is love and relationship. So we're not going to dwell a lot on the astrology, but it's kind of a big deal month for you because Jupiter is moving into Sagittarius, okay? That's kind of life-changing for you. You might not notice it instantly, but it's very profound. Jupiter being in its own sign, wow. So, you know, Jupiter, the great benefic, the bringer of joy, the energy of healing, the energy of expansion, wealth, abundance, luck, adventure, expanded consciousness. So I'm going to use the Tarot Lumination Astro Doodle. It might look like nonsense to you, but I'm going to point out a couple of things. It kind of starts in the middle of the month for you, really. November the 10th, Jupiter moves into Sagittarius, okay? November 22nd, Sun moves into Sagittarius. November 17th, in between of those, Mercury is in Sagittarius, but it's going retrograde. So there's a lot of activity here for you later in the month, okay, Sagittarius? So you might feel like there's a lot of lights on you, a lot of pressure, almost to the point where it's almost too much. So, and that's all in your house of self, your sense of who you are, okay? So that has an impact on your most significant one-on-one relationships over here in your 7th house axis. This is the 7th, this is the 1st, this is the axis of relationship primarily. And over here, your love life, okay? So a couple of things. Towards the end of the month, November 23rd, just after the Sun moves into Sagittarius, by the way, we have the full moon in Gemini. So the moon is going to be in full opposition to you in your 7th house. So these are all significant dates for you because you're going to be all lit up, being more Sag than ever before. New chances, it's a whole new journey. It goes for a year here, and it's like really getting lit up and triggered. It's really only towards the end of the month where you might start really feeling relationship dynamics coming to light. Because of the full moon, all right, which is your full moon. All right, so the other thing is we have to notice this over here. November 7th, Uranus is going retrograde back into Aries. It's in Taurus, but it's at the 0 degrees, and it's, you know, it's a 14-year journey. Sorry, 7-year journey for Uranus, excuse me. And for the next few months, you're going to be dealing with this, Sagittarius, in your 5th house of love, true love, okay? So you might get all these weird senses of action replays, action rewinds of anything and everything that went wrong for you in true love and romance over here, and maybe a few glimpses of the things that actually work. You don't know. But typically with retrograde energy, it's the chance to repair, rewind, uh, revitalize, reboot. It's the last chance. This is the last chance because once Uranus goes back over here, it's a 7-year journey through your 6th house of health and habits and work. So anyway, let's leave it at that. I don't want to dwell too much. We've already talked too much on that stuff. Let's go straight for it. By the way, Tarot Illumination membership's a brand new thing. Check out the links below. Tarot Illumination First Friday healing events. First Friday of every month. Check out the links below. Check out the links for general reports. And also, of course, do the subscribes and likes. It really, really makes a difference. Tarot Illumination is still very much a newborn in terms of channels. And every bit of nutrition helps, especially Tarot Illumination membership. Please, please have a look at that, okay? All right, cards shuffled. We're going to cut it up. We're going to dive in now. Here finally is your reading. Okay, so you'll see how it unfolds. I'm going to just dive in. There's the energy that you're radiating, okay? Like a cell phone, okay? What are you radiating? Over here, a significant other. What are they radiating? 2 individuals, okay? In the context of love and relationship. Deep down, what are you radiating at the heart and soul? Deep down, what are they radiating there? Deep down at the very core of the relationship itself. I hope you see this as a crucible. I think of this as the crucible spread for Tarot Illumination. And the whole idea is that it's a representation of the bowl-like structure which we build when we create a relationship. Looking from the top, it would be like a bowl. And the whole idea of a crucible is that a really healthy crucible is built to withstand intense pressures as we intimate and separate, which is part of the normal everyday sequences in love and relationship, just like the tides in the ocean. The ocean is not flat. So this generates like a life. It's like a living thing, like a business, and you guys own it. So are you aware? What are you growing? What's happening in your relationship? Circumstantial energy, environmental influences. I think of it as the weather. We start with strength card here. My feeling is that, to me, it feels like a real sense of pushing and pulling, expanding and contracting, but it's more extreme than ever before because the process of intimacy and separation is never ending in relationship, okay? It's very naive to think you can just hook up, you know, marriage, love, relationship, live in, whatever, and then just click everything to autopilot, and then that's just what it is. This is how it is. I love you, you love me, I love you, you love me. Click, go. It doesn't work like that. It's constantly. The only constant is change. So as you and your energies shift and change, so do their energy shift and change. It's like it's never ending. Now, with the strength card here, my feeling is that you're going to feel very, very uplifted and expanded and magnified, almost glorified as a Sagittarian towards the end of the month. Once that Jupiter kicks in, you might, if you're a late born Sagittarius, it might take a while to feel it, but even at the very beginning, you might get a taste, a glimpse of the new horizons opening up for you. Big expansions and for yourself, how you see yourself. And when you look in the mirror, like, who am I really? What am I doing here? What is my purpose, mission? What do I still need to know, achieve, conquer, and become? And the question is now, are you doing that in a way that's healthy and in the context of your own spiritual evolution? Okay, that's a big thing. You can't, it's not like, you know, if you think of Sagittarius as the energy of luck, it's not like, okay, you go to a casino and you win $1,000 and then you just splurge it. Instead, let's say you did get lucky and something good happened and you got $1,000. What are you going to do with that? You're going to invest it wisely, or are you just going to splurge it? Are you going to do something crazy like I'm going to gamble it all on red, gamble it all on black, and then just hope? No, so it's like you could be exposed to your own magnificence and how great it is when it works and how awful it can be when it doesn't work and the Sagittarian energy is wasted. And the whole idea with this, there's a very, very strong message from heaven, is to get your act together and make sure you align your relationship behaviors and protocols in the most spiritually advanced ways possible, okay? It's almost like a mission, okay? Whether that's going to be fun is a whole other thing, but it could be an adventure for sure. What are you radiating? Okay, Ten of Pentacles, loaded, man. So my feeling is that you're getting a glimpse already. You're getting this feeling that your time is coming. This is your big, big chance to almost like cash in on the universe and the planets and everything that's happening. I'll just do this quickly. This little thing we talked about right here, November 10th, Jupiter coming into Sagittarius, that was a 12-year journey, okay? You did this 12 years ago. Let's go backwards. Can you recall what happened to you 12 years ago? I don't know how old you are. If you're a teenager, maybe not. If you're in 20s or 30s, maybe. If you're older than 30s and 40s, yeah, you should have a good recollection. What happened to you 12 years ago around this time that is to do with like a sense of expansion and growth? Okay? Just think about that for a moment, because it's starting all over again. And this time it's bigger and better. It's a year-long journey, okay? Jupiter's going to be here almost exactly a year. So make the most of it. And my feeling is that you, Sagittarius, are already aware, and you are already intending to make the most of it, capitalize on all your gifts, talents, and assets, your most amazing self, which is very much in alignment with what we feel over here at Tarot Lumination. It's all about love thyself, optimizing the self, being your most loving self, starting with thyself, okay? Because that's what's best for everyone else, okay? We're not talking about narcissism or anything like that, or megalomania here. This is really good, stable understanding. If you think of the tokens here, the pentacles, as actual coins of wealth, what are you going to do with that? To me, it looks like it's almost like you are aware that you have this gift, you have all this abundance now. Jupiter is the sign of abundance. And it's like it's time to go to the bank manager of love and have a good, frank discussion. What am I going to do with all my gifts and talents for this new me that is starting to evolve and grow here in the context of love and relationship? Okay, let's have a look. What about the other? Okay, Justice. Well, they're getting what they deserve. And in a way, you're getting what you deserve, Sagittarius, because with the Justice card here, my feeling is that it's a very loud message that everything is exactly as it should be, because it can't be any other way. So whatever has been unjust or out of whack or misaligned is going to become very vividly exposed, especially around the time of the full moon at the end of the month. And whatever is working, whatever is in alignment with really good, wholesome, responsible, let's say, stewardship of your assets, your love assets, your tokens, whatever you're going to do with them in the context of love and relationship, you're going to get a good glimpse of what that is like too. So to me, with the Justice card, it's a very neutral energy. So it might be a very strong energy of very clear reflection coming to you from a significant other, where it's not so much whether they love you or not. It's just the fact that they are there, and their ability and willingness to provide such a candid, pure, and clear reflection back to you that you deserve. It's almost like having an evaluation and going into deep assessment, and you're getting it full on, coming right back at you, as though you lived an exam, you hand in your papers, and then you get the report fed back to you. What is it that is being fed back to you? And the same here with the Uranus retrograde into Aries. Getting a chance to look at what did work and what didn't work. The Sagittarius new moon is a bit later, but for now, the Sun is in Sagittarius here, Jupiter's Sagittarius, Mercury's going retrograde in Sagittarius. So this is a really great opportunity to do just like what we said. Refine, evaluate, repair, review, learn how incredibly lucky you are, and then realize with great fortune comes great responsibility, even including in love and relationship. So the question is, what are you going to do with that now? And you're getting clear reflections. Over here, what about deep inside of you? The devil. So with the devil here, my feeling is that it's almost like, the Jupiter energy saying, I gotta bust out of this. I need to rip out of this. If deep, when that Jupiter, it demands so much freedom, so much expansion, so much growth. That's its nature. and so much fun, so much abundance, and anything and everything that's holding you back, you might really feel it as chains, as bondage, as being held hostage. And that is kind of like the human, the raw animal human aspect of your nature deep down being triggered, like how much of your life is simply operating from the limbic system as a raw human being, male or female, younger, older, no matter. And then having these big, powerful, broad spiritual energies coming into your life and forcing you to go really deep, facing your egoic self. What are you really going to do with all this energy? You can't just sort of like, you know, gorge on all this good stuff. On the other hand, you don't want to be bound and strapped into something that is not working for you. Some people, I don't know, I'm not going to say this is good or bad, because sometimes the energy of the devil is very, very important in order to understand the binding nature of this world. And no apologies for that. Okay, let's have a look. What are they radiating over here? The Six of Cups. Aha. So for you, Sagittarius, what might be happening is that, here's my take on it. I'm just going to give you my very first feelings, is that it's almost like you're going to be dropped in it, flung into a whole new way of love and relating and relationships. You're going to get exactly what you deserve, nothing more, nothing less. And it is what it is. Everything that's not working, it's going to be vividly displayed, and you're going to have plenty of time and resources to work on it. And what is working is going to be vividly displayed. And then how do you capitalize and optimize that? And my feeling here is this is going to happen in the context of what might appear to be a soulmate type relationship with a significant other at the deep heart and soul level. Now, the challenges with this type of relationship, as beautiful as it can also be very, very challenging when you get really deep into it. A lot of people crave this idea of being really, really, let's say, bound in and strapped in, tied in with a deeply profound, loving soulmate relationship. But you have to almost be careful of what you wish for, Sagittarius, because you get everything that comes with it. And your soul would be exposed. And if you're willing to go to these depths with another significant other, and they're willing to go to these depths with you, remember, we still have a lot of scorpionic energy right now. And we've got the Scorpio new moon over here in your 12th house, very early in the month. That's plunging you very, very deep into the world of your self-undoing. And are you ready to witness and observe what's going on in there? How you are your own worst enemy to yourself and to a relationship and to a significant other? And then doing that in the context of a soulmate relationship, where, in other words, you're not, thrashing it out between two individuals. You're doing it in a healthy, responsible way through the context of a relationship where both parties acknowledge the depth and the binding nature of these types of relationship, and almost doing it in a very formal setting. Like if there is an imbalance, a good way to deal with it would be in a very formalized setting, even getting like professional help. So it looks like there you have someone who's very, very well intended. How you interpret that is a whole other thing. But it looks from here that you're dealing with someone who's very well intended, who's relating to you very much at the soul level for their personal benefit, which happens to be good for you. But there's also the aspect of like, what does it really mean? Sometimes people in soulmate relationships discover a lot about themselves that they don't like. And then they project that into the other and blame and so on. So soulmate relationships aren't necessarily easy, okay? Let's have a look at the core here. Okay, 10 of Swords. So what might be happening? It's almost like when things are too good too quickly, you can crash and burn. You know what happens like when you give a little kid the keys to the Ferrari or the car, the family car, and they say, hey, let's go out for a ride, teach yourself to drive. And because they're too... they didn't have all the training or anything, and they could easily crash. So with the 10 of Swords here, you might be getting a glimpse of like how awesome everything could be and should be and might be. and yet at the same time discovering how awful certain things are. So I see this as very extreme energy here. I think you're going to discover with the combination of all this intense going super ultra deep energy here of Scorpio in the 12th house, your 12th house, Sagittarius, and all these new amazing beginnings here. You're going to get a really, really big expanded view of everything that does work and everything that doesn't work. And the stuff that doesn't work could become so apparent. Like, we take so much for granted about what does work. We kind of say, well, that was cool. That was all great. But what tends to really stick is the stuff that doesn't work. And so the relationship might be showing signs of anything and everything that doesn't work, that is simply no longer appropriate anymore. In other words, the bindings could be too tight. The nature of the soulmate relationship might be quite uncomfortable. You're getting exactly what you deserve back from a significant other, and vice versa. Okay? And the question is, what are you going to do with all that? Because you're so fortunate and so lucky. So what do you do with that in the context of such a challenging situation, potentially challenging? You know, it's fantastic to have this epic thing. Jupiter, you're in your own sign for a year, and you happen to be Sagittarius. You're like super freaking lucky, super lucky here. But again, it's going to expose everything that doesn't work. So let's have a look going see, this is the crucible here. So there's you, significant other, and the relationship itself. So if the relationship over the extent of this month, particularly around the full moon, if you get to this culmination, this crescendo point where you realize, screw this, I'm sick of this. We need to do something, and, you know, we need to figure out exactly what we're doing here, because nature, the heavens are, it's almost like forcing you to take everything to the next level. You know, might have a romance relationship, but now you're talking about a soulmate relationship deep down, which means anything and everything that's not compatible and healthy at a soulmate relationship level needs to go. Prospects over here. The Empress. And so you create something new. So out of the bad comes the good. There's no towers here or anything like that, but my feeling here is that it's almost like getting in one of those tug of war situations where, you know, because these are both like delicious energies in their own right, you know. There's nothing good or bad about this. This is just like facts, truth, and reality. This is what is. And so, again, going back to this, especially towards the end of the month, I think you're going to have a much clearer idea of what this little reading means towards the end of the month, where everything's going to be on full display. You're going to realize an awful lot about what doesn't work and how you're going to be basically forced and obliged to upgrade your whole manner, your demeanor, yourself, your identity, in order to honor the next level journey that you're heading on for the next 12 years. You're just starting, and for this next year, it starts this month. The message is you need a total upgrade, Sagittarius, to get everything in line with the spiritual dynamics and perspectives. Love is as love does. Okay? On this channel, love is as love does. Love would be defined as the conscious, deliberate, willing intent to go above and beyond your comfort zone in order to specifically foster the nurture, the growth and healing of yourself, number one, two, your significant others, and the world around you, okay? And if that means having to go deep down, discover what is binding, that is not working and unwholesome and unhealthy, in order to create something new, then so be it. So it's not all fun and games. Just because you got Jupiter and Sagittarius starting for you, whoopee, yeah, wahoo, fantastic. But there are huge implications, because now you have to live by example. You have to, this is a chance to, you know, it's almost like doing a complete reboot here, just accepting that there's an awful lot of the stuff that doesn't work and it needs to stop. But in so doing, you create something brand new. So it's like creating I don't know, it's like taking every ingredient that is around you and about you and creating a new masterpiece going forward. It's almost like you are being watched now, Sagittarius. So what are you going to do with your talents and gifts? What are exactly are you going to create this wonderful, beautiful new thing that you have? I'm going to leave it like a question, okay? Because I'm not going to give you answers. We don't tell the future here. We don't it's not fortune telling or anything like that. Thank you so much, Sagittarius. Please make the best of this. We said everything at the beginning of the video, so leave it at that. Bye bye. Thank you very much. Reinterpret to suit yourselves. Bye bye.